Hey y'all, what is going on? Oh my gosh. Happy 2024. Wow. Like it's here. So almost February, in case you have not looked at a calendar just yet. But I am so excited. It has been a minute since I know that I have come live, did a training with you guys, updated the team as far as what's going on. But I figured what better time than now to jump on and let's get to it. So for those y'all that are newer to Cincy, newer to the team, this might this is going to be new for y'all. Those have been around for a while. This might sound like a broken record, but we need to go ahead and dig into it and discuss it. So January is almost up, right? So February 1st, which is literally 2 days from now, depending upon when you're watching this video, is going to be considered transition month. And we're going to dig a little bit into that here in a little bit. But before we get started, I want to cover a couple things that are located in your news tab on your dashboard workstation, whatever you're calling it these days. But some of the things to keep in mind. So first off, going into transition month, so February 1st to the end of February, the whole month will be 10% off of catalog products that are non-licensed. Cincy does have a specific link that will be on your website, your PWS, starting February 1st for the whole month. And I believe it is called, I think it'll say something along the lines of like last chance, something like that. But be on the lookout for that. That's going to be, I believe, under the specials tab. So that way you can copy it over, share it with your customers, text it out, post it on your pages. Also be on the lookout because I believe somewhere within the first week of February, we will also have firsthand access to the discontinued list. If I don't get a chance to share that out with you guys ahead of time, just be on the lookout. It should be there should be a link that will be at the top of your workstation, your dashboard, for you to be able to click on. It might even at some point be circulating around social media, so you might be able to see it there. But make sure and be on the lookout for that because all of those products that are listed will be 10% off LTO, so limited time only while supplies last, so 10% off throughout the month of February. Let's see. So tomorrow, like I said before, tomorrow, if you're depending on when you're watching this, tomorrow's the last day for for January. So I am so excited about that because if y'all haven't already, make sure and check out the image that I sent to y'all. Search it on Facebook. You want to be able to see that running list of all of the goods that are going away as of tomorrow because there is a substantial list. There's a long list of items that are going away at the end of this month. So as of tomorrow. Also, keep in mind tomorrow, January 31st, is the last day for Bring Back My Bar. What does that mean to you? So, if you are a consultant, that means that you want to go back into your order history and you want to find what customers of yours have placed an order for any of the Bring Back My Bars that were available this month. You want to have a conversation with them and let them know, hey, if you liked any of the bars that you ordered, or you could say, I don't know what you thought about your bars, but I just want to let you know those are going away by the end of today, end of January 31st, however you want to word it. There is a simple way that you can get this monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, however you want to word it, but just let them know about Cincy Club. If you are newer as a consultant, reach out to your sponsor. That way y'all can talk a little bit more one-on-one about what Cincy Club is. Also, if you go to your PWS, there is a link where you can click on where it does say Cincy Club. Click on that and it'll have a video and there's information on there that lets you know a little bit more about Cincy Club and how it runs. But you definitely, I plan on doing the same, reaching out to my customers tomorrow, letting them know briefly about Cincy Club. If they just recently placed an order, that's where I don't necessarily want to stray away from them ordering monthly, I do put that in there, but I do find that a lot of my customers who just ordered the bars this month are more comfortable with bi-monthly. Now, if your customer is interested in doing monthly, just FYI, we're going to move on to the next subject. That when your customer signs up for Scentsy Club, there is a small box that they can unclick that'll basically say something along the lines of, I want my order to ship automatically. They can unclick that, and what that basically means is even if they sign up for monthly, they will receive their next shipment starting in February. Hopefully that makes sense. But definitely talk to your customers. That goes the same for us. So if you are interested in any of the bars, if there were some that you found that were your absolute favorite, just the same for us as consultants, make sure and add those bars to your club order as well. Or also, it might be something you might want to consider if you've never opened a club order before. This is the time to do it because wax we get forever and always until you delete it out. Let's see. Now, if you are a customer or you're a fan of Scentsy and you're not a consultant, this goes out to you as well. Make sure that if you have had the chance to smell any of the Bring Back My Bars, that you too add your favorites to Scentsy Club. And tomorrow, January 31st, I think it's about 1 a.m., 2 a.m., but to be on the safe side, let's just say midnight. So midnight tomorrow, January 31st, is the last day to be able to Bring Back My Bars into your Scentsy Club. The last announcement for consultants is to make sure and double check your news tab on Workstation. The Easter collection does release February 25th. However, this week, February 1st, all consultants will have access to the wax bars. So in case you want to get your hands on those, make sure you have to place the order through Workstation, so not your PWS, but you can order them through your Workstation and get your hands on the wax bars ahead of time before releases at the end of February. That way you can get the samples in your customers' hands. I love to sometimes get those to create samples to send out to my club people. Also, if you don't want to make samples, but you want to get the bars, you can have them and get with your customers one-on-one and then allow them to smell the bars before they are able to order on February 25th. Oh, the last thing is that also make sure and go back to your news tab because the dryer sheets, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but Scentsy is coming out with a limited time offer for dryer sheets, which is a part of our laundry line. Clothesline, I believe, is the only available fragrance as of right now that will be the LTO starting February 1st. Now, if you're looking for a way to market this to your customers, I plan on sending out a text message one-on-one to my customers and letting them know, hey, I'm looking for product testers. Let me know if you are interested. And I feel like that I'm only going to have 10 slots available. So I'll say I have 10 spots available. Let me know if you would like to be a product tester. And then my plan is to use my rewards to get the dryer sheets. And once I get the dryer sheets, then that's when whoever is my product tester, I will either drop it off or more likely mail it to them. I'm assuming that it's going to be the same, weight and size as like a normal dryer sheet. So if that's the case, then I'm hoping that is the case. That way I can put it in an envelope with my customer's Happy Mail and send it off to them. So that is it as far as the news. So today or tonight, depending on when you're watching this, we're basically going to cover a little bit about transition. So like I said before, that officially kicks off February 1st, but I definitely want to get ahead of this. So then that way you guys can better prepare going into the new month, starting the end of this week. So first and foremost, make sure that when you are ordering your supplies for the new month, I cannot stress this enough, make sure and order the right language. If you didn't already know this, there are various Scentsy supplies that are available through the Scentsy Consultant Store on your workstation, your dashboard, and we are able to order them as consultants in various languages because Scentsy is offered throughout other areas, through other countries other than the US. So when you're ordering your supplies, double check that you are ordering whether you're, because I know some of us on our team on Team Faith and Soul will be ordering the Spanish version, and then others will be ordering the US version. So make sure that you're ordering the correct one. Now, if you happen to catch this video and you are not on Team Faith and Soul, just so you know, there also is a Canadian version as well, which is really cool. But just make sure that you are choosing the right version for you. The reason why I'm stressing that over and over is I have done that myself. I have not paid attention. And when I first joined, I ended up ordering the Spanish version of some of the supplies. And I found out the hard way that Scentsy does not take that stuff back. So that's why I'm stressing it. And I cannot stress it enough. The other thing that I definitely want you guys to take a note of is that there are 2 sets of testers that you're able to purchase, okay? The first set of testers that you'll see that are available to purchase is going to be what is called your transition testers. What is that? That is all of the returning and new fragrances that are coming back, okay? Now, the other one you'll see is, I believe, called it's like the full set or something along those lines. But you'll see there's a bit of a price difference. Now, the full one is also going to be including all of the returning scents. So all of the, I don't want to word that, like all of the traditional ones, like, gosh, what would it be, like Blue Grotto, the ones that we have right now too. So like Blue Grotto, Sunkissed Citrus, all of the returning and the new ones. That's what I meant to say. I apologize. So there's going to be one kit for testers that are literally new and old, so returning and new smells. And then there's another one that is just the new smells. Okay, hopefully that made sense. But you'll see on there's 2 different bags. So just make sure and pay attention to the price. Okay. And you have to just go about whatever's convenient for you. Let's see what else. Oh, so take product and let's see. Sorry, y'all. I can already tell I'm like looking at my notes, so I just want to make sure that I'm making sense. Oh, yes. So the reason why I personally like to get the testers, I'm not gonna lie, full transparency, in the last 2 years I did get the testers, but I never used them. So full transparency, I know I never used them. I did when I first joined, like I did all the time, but that was because I was doing like bag parties. I was doing a couple of home parties. But recently I have been reaching out to new customers and have been saying like, hey, let's meet up. Like literally, I think about a couple days ago, I just met up with a new customer that contacted me. I happen to have my testers on hand. I said, hey, you live super close to me. Let's meet up for coffee. I have some, I just said samples because let's be honest, like customers, unless they're a consultant or have been a consultant, they're not going to know what testers are. So I say, I have some samples for you to smell. Let's meet up. Let's meet for coffee. She loved it. She was ecstatic. In fact, she said, hey, when the new catalog comes out, are you going to be getting the testers too? Now, what was interesting is full transparency again, did not plan on getting the testers for the new season. Did not plan on getting them because like I said, I haven't been putting them to use. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to save my money. There's no point. But however, she asked and she said, oh, by the way, are you going to be getting the new testers for the new catalog? And I was like, you know what? I went ahead and told her, I said, yes, I am. And we can certainly meet up so you can smell them. So that basically was like, you know what? I can do that. I can meet up one-on-one with customers. So that's why I'm encouraging you to at least get the testers. If not, there also will be a set of the 10 new fragrances that are coming out of just the wax bars. That is the alternative that I would suggest to get. Either one of those. But once you get that, once you get that in the mail, I would encourage you to immediately start reaching out as soon as you place that order for the testers or the wax bars. Immediately reach out to your customers, and you want to start booking those one-on-one meetups so that way they can start smelling the new stuff. Okay. When you meet up with them, that's where you want to share with them. Oh, hey, by the way, I have this catalog. I have this product sheet. Everything here is going away. It's going to be 10% off. Let's go ahead and set you up a shopping link. You can share the discontinued list image out with X amount of people, with your friends and family. Because what you want to do is once your customers start smelling those new testers, those new smells, and they know that they're not able to get their hands on them until March 1st, that's where you want to be like, hey, I want to make sure and get these scents for free or half off for you. I want to help you out. Let's get something going now in February so you can earn rewards to put towards the wax bars or the products that you're wanting to order come March and get them for free or half off. Hopefully that made sense. I also, one other thing I do plan on doing, I kind of made a little bit of a side note for myself, not necessarily to do with like transition period, but one thing I am honestly on a side note challenging myself to do going into this new season, and I haven't done this in a minute, and it's definitely going to be way out of my comfort zone, is I'm going to pick a product. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm either going to pick like a product to go with pods or a wax and a warmer. And I'm going to go to like local businesses here in town, and I'm going to walk right in. And then it depends on your comfort zone, because I honestly feel like that I'm going to more than likely, I think I'm going to leave it in the car, like at least for the first couple times, because I don't know how I feel about like bringing it in with me. But I feel like I'm going to walk in and then be like, introduce myself, be like, hey, my name is Megan Clark. I'm a Scentsy consultant or a Scentsy rep. I would love to be able to place whatever product it is in your business. No cost to you whatsoever. I'd love to leave it in here for a week. I'll be back in a week. What do you say? Or is that okay with you? That kind of thing. I doubt very seriously, I'll be very honest with you, I doubt that a lot of people are going to say no. But at the same time, I definitely do want to prepare myself for that reaction. And it'd be okay that if I get told no, because honestly, like I said earlier, this is way out of my comfort zone. So for me to try something like this is a big deal in itself, because I haven't done this in a long time. But I do want to reach out to new customers. I want to grow my customer base. I want to put Scentsy in somebody's hands that perhaps maybe has never heard of Scentsy, or they haven't had Scentsy in a while. Yeah, so that's just something on a side note that I'm going to try out this next month. So if y'all try it out yourselves, let me know what happens, because I'm excited. I'm cheering you on. You have to let me know what happens and what you ended up, like what came about, because I'm excited to hear about that. Let's see what else. One thing that's super important to consider whenever if we're going back to the idea of talking to a customer about setting up a one-on-one, like, if you want to do like a sit, however you want to call it, like a sip and sniff or a scent event, or just meeting up for coffee so that they can smell your testers. One thing that you want to definitely consider, especially if you plan on putting together like what's called like a back party. I mean, if you're not sure what a back party is, definitely go to like YouTube. You can go to so like here on YouTube, you can go to Facebook as well. Type out like the wording like Scentsy Bag Party, and you'll get some things that come up, especially on YouTube. There's a couple of trainings on there about bag parties. But if you are one of those that's considering putting together a bag party, one thing that I personally made a note of that I thought was pretty interesting that I hadn't thought of before is considering where the customer goes on a daily basis. So for the ones that are saying that they are too busy, offer them to bring a bag party to them. So if they're like, oh, I wish I could, but my kid is just back into sports, things are crazy, I'll think about it, or maybe not right now because of, so if they have a reason of what's keeping them from helping you out, if there's something that they are getting into right now currently or fixing to, like school's going, like let's just say like, I don't know, that would be closer to August, but I guess if they're just like school's been busy, or what else? Like I don't know, like, oh, like senior stuff is coming up and they're busy with that. So if it's anything along those lines, definitely let them know, be like, hey, I completely understand. I would love to be able to bring the bag to you. So let them know, like, I will meet you where you're at and I'll bring the bag to you. That actually, to me, takes off the pressure for them to not have to like overthink everything. And the very fact that you're going to bring the smell goods to them and they're already going to be where they're at and you're meeting them there, to me would make it less it would not be as hard for them to say. Basically, it's going to make it easier for them and they're less likely to tell you no. That's what I'm leaning more towards. So if you do have, like I said, customers that you feel like would otherwise be interested in a back party, or if you're wanting to approach them to have a party of some sort, definitely first and foremost, like I said, consider where they're going on the daily, whether they're working like an 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job, offer to bring it to them at their work. You can always set it up in their space for like where everyone takes lunch breaks. Consider that. But just meeting your customer where they're at instead of making it more daunting and like something extra that they have to do for you. Make it as easy for them as possible. And especially when it always consider like what's in it for them. Let's see. So the next thing you want to definitely do as soon as possible, depending upon what your workspace looks like. So you may not necessarily have an office like what I'm sitting in right now, and that's perfectly fine. Wherever you work your Scentsy business, I want you to take out all of your marketing materials that are from 2023, and I want you to focus on getting it out of your house as soon as possible. What does that mean? Every time that you deliver an order, I want you to put in a whether it's a catalog, a product sheet, any of the sorts of those three things, the showcase brochure, any of those three things. I want you to have it labeled with your contact information and dropping it in that order and giving it to your customer. It does not matter if you have already given one to them in the past. It does not matter. You want it out of your office. If it's in your office and we're getting ready to go into a new catalog season and transition month, it is not going to serve you anything. It's not going to help you any at all. At all, if it's just sitting around in your office. Okay. So, and I'm talking about old testers, I'm talking about old samples. Get them out, get them in your customers' hands. Now, going back to what I just said, tester wise, if you're one of those, and everyone's different. So for me, I just have to like out of sight, out of mind. But I do know that there are some consultants that will hold on to their testers from this season. So all your fall and winter smells, a lot of consultants will hold on to those testers for fall, winter of this coming year for 2024. That's weird to say. So for 2024, fall, winter, a lot of times consultants will hold on to those. And then once we have a notification of what's coming back, then they'll keep what they already have and then get rid of the rest, if that makes sense. Some consultants do that because in the long run, it does save you a little bit of money. It is more tasky and tedious to stay on top of that. But if that works for you, then I highly recommend it. But yeah, all office supplies. That also means, so if you have scent of the month, warmer of the month brochures, it is okay if they're outdated. You can still hand those over to your customers. Just have that conversation with them and just say, hey, more likely it's still available on the site, but if it's not at 10% off, but that's where that conversation is going to come in. Like, oh, hey, by the way, we still have this available. It's not 10% off anymore, but if you're interested, let me know. And then we can figure out how to get it at a discount. Because again, that's where that host is going to come in handy. That's where if you already have a party set up, that you can offer them to get that warmer or that wax bar at a discount for half off, right? I always have host rewards that like I absolutely don't have to have. I don't have to have anything Scentsy, right? It's a need. I don't have to have it. So if I have rewards, I can offer that to a customer, especially if they're a regular of mine, as like a small gesture of kindness, and it's going to make their day. But bottom line is you want to get the marketing out. You don't want to set another alternative, and this would be like the last case scenario is something that I do if I do absolutely have at the end. some marketing materials that for whatever reason I forgot to get to, didn't find, which has happened many times, or something along those lines, is that if you have a paper shredder, shred away. I literally use mine. I have over to my side over here under my table, I have a small Scentsy box that has shred in it from past marketing materials that I use to pack for various things within my business. But before you do that, absolutely, I want you, like I said, I want you to mark it with your contact information, your name and your phone number, and every single person that you come into contact with between February 1st and the end of the month, I want you to hand that out to them. Okay. Because if they don't need it, you never know, they might pass it on to somebody else. Let's see. Also the other thing too is that get used products out of your office. What do I mean by that? If not only used products, but then the older products. So if you have products on hand for whatever reason that are going to be discontinued, that they are part of our fall winter catalog currently, some suggestions that you can do is you can either make samples from them, make samples of those products, stow them away until next or the end of this year for fall winter. You can use those as samples for fall winter of 2024. You can also and this is definitely one-on-one between you and your customer. Do not post this on social media, but you can offer a special sale on said products. Also, one thing that I personally plan on doing is offering out mystery bags. So I love to do mystery bags, especially for transition month, because I do have products that I have needed and had for my past events for the fall winter season, and I still have them on hand, and I don't want them to be sitting on the shelf for the rest of the year. So they will be going into my mystery bags. Briefly, how that works is that I offer mystery bags. I typically offer them for about $20 to $25. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to have like a two different like a price range on two different bags. So then that way your customer can choose how much they're spending. So if that's the case, sometimes I'll do a $20 bag and then like a $35 bag. Now, when you're filling that bag, you want to make sure that if your customer is spending $20, there absolutely needs to be $20 worth of product in that bag. Okay. So when my customer spends that $20, what I plan on doing is I'm going to take that payment and I'm actually then going to put it towards products that we're going to be getting in March 1st. I had to think about that. So, now let's just say, for example, like, and then like, how does that work? Because you're like, wait a minute, if I'm doing it at the beginning of the month and then like I'm holding on to payments, how does that work to get the new products? So usually what I do is I personally like to, let's just say normally about like the first or second week of February, I'll offer out the mystery bags. I'll take pre-orders, and then what I do is I like to invoice them towards the end of the month. So then that way it's usually like about like, I don't know, let's just say like the last week of the month, I'll invoice them. And then that way I can put it towards March 1st sales. Now, another alternative to that is that there are a good handful, there's a good amount of products that are currently in our catalog now that are considered spring, summer smells. So that's going to be like Sunkissed Citrus, Blue Grotto, Jamie Time, Mystery Man, Luna. So your scents that have been around for a while, those are the ones that you can get and put your put like order basically, and then replace what you put in your mystery bags. So there's that. Also stick to what you can afford. So when we're talking about ordering your business supplies, ordering whatever it is that you're wanting to get for the new spring, summer season, order what you can afford. Don't feel like you have to order X amount of stuff to be able to be ready for the new season. Something that I normally do is when I've been on a tighter budget, I would say hands down, the most important thing for you to get is the smells. So the smell that sells, right? So that would be your stickers. So there will be scratch and sniff stickers for the new season that you can get. So if it's not in your budget to do the testers, if it's not in your budget to get the sales kit for the new 10 wax bars, then the alternative to that is the scratch and sniff stickers. What else? There is a wax kit, like I was telling y'all about. That's the 10 new smells. And there's also going to be a business kit. So if it is in your budget next to the scratch and sniff stickers, I would say if you're not getting like just the testers, if you want to get a little bit of everything, the business kit is where it's at, and only if it's in your budget, because the business kit does come with like the catalogs. I believe it does come with the scratch and sniff stickers. I know I'm forgetting something else. Oh, the product list as well. And I feel like there's one more item that I'm forgetting about that it usually comes with. February also is the perfect time for relaunching your business. Same thing, plan on doing it myself. Even though I've been in with Scentsy for almost 5 years now, I do plan on creating a private group in Facebook. And usually most consultants call it, I'm just going to call it like my relaunch party, but most consultants call it last chance first glance. So basically, to sum that up, and what that means is you're posting and sharing about what your favorite products are for the month of February. That's 10% off. That's going away. If you have anyone that places an order, typically, like I personally will share in that private group on Facebook glimpses of the catalog of the new stuff that's coming out. Now, I say this with love, and make sure you hear this loud and clear. You cannot, and I would not also suggest posting, please don't do this. I would not suggest posting any suggestion that your customer needs to place an order in order for them to get a glimpse of the catalog. Don't do that. You'll get in trouble. It's not a good idea. Just don't do it. Now, if someone does ask you, what does a last chance first glance mean? Then that's where you can text them and message them one-on-one and just be like, hey, this is exclusive for my VIPs. I just want to give y'all a glimpse on what's to come, and I'm going to share with y'all what's going away. That's some of my favorite products. Keep it simple. Let's see what else. One thing for sure that's important to keep in mind is that social posting at this point this year is not going to cut it anymore, you guys. We can no longer just post in our stories or on our pages and hope that somebody's going to see it and place an order. We have to ask ourselves, how can I integrate my Scentsy business into everyday conversations that you're having with people one-on-one? Whether that's where you're having meetings, whether if you have like appointments somewhere, doctor's appointments, dentist offices, meeting up at the schools with your kids' teachers, meeting up with friends for lunch or coffee. How can you integrate your business into everyday activities? One important thing that you can do is brand yourself, whether you're wearing a Scentsy shirt, a hat, we've talked about this before, a bag, a keychain, whatever the case may be. Even if you go to like the clearance section on our Scentsy consultant store, and you purchase a little tote bag that says Scentsy on it, and you put your testers in there, carry that bag around with you. I guarantee you that if you are branding yourself in your business, that's going to be the perfect segue and conversation starter, because if someone mentions it to you, like, oh, I really like those earrings you have, or, oh, that's such a cute shirt you have, then that's a perfect segue, because then you can be like, oh, thank you so much. And then it, naturally flows from there. But it, like I said, is important to talk about or think and consider how you're able to integrate that into your everyday conversation with everyone that you're talking to on a week-to-week basis. Because posting through social media, like I said, is not cutting anymore. It's so much harder to get people to see and acknowledge our content, but it's so much more natural, and everyone's going to see the excitement and expression in your face if you're openly sharing about what products you love and how much you're enjoying being a consultant and what it means to you. If you're sharing what you like, know, and believe in, that's where it's going to be at, especially going into this year. Also, when you're trying to integrate that into your everyday conversations, use your why. use what are you saving up for? Why you joined Scentsy? What are you saving your paychecks up for? What are you putting your money towards? Why did you join Scentsy in the first place? Why do you continue to be a Scentsy consultant now? Those are that drive, that reason is going to be the perfect way to integrate your business into that conversation, because that way people are going to have more of a connection with you, and it's not just about the sale. Like, there's actually a heartfelt reason behind what you're talking about. And people are going to connect to that more anyways, especially when you're being genuine about it. Second, just circling back before I let y'all go, make sure and just reach out to your customers to meet up for a one-on-one. Do an online party, send out samples, or host a Scent event at your house. I've done that literally. I joined in October 2019. By the beginning of November, I had my first in-home party. I really didn't have any Scentsy product. I had little to no knowledge about Scentsy in general. But when I got my kit in, when I first joined, I literally took everything out of that kit. I set it up on a table, and that's what I talked about. That's what I shared. And to be honest, I really didn't know that much about most of those products because I had just joined. But I did share what I did know, and what I didn't know, I looked up in my catalog or on the website, and we kind of did that together. Like, my friends and my customers that came over, we kind of looked it up together. Thankfully, I was very lucky because I did have some people attend that already had a little bit of knowledge about Scentsy. But if they did have questions about other products, I either was like, hey, let me look that up real quick. Or I was like, hey, I'm not really quite sure, but I will get back to you as soon as I find out about it, because they knew that I had just joined, right? They knew that I was brand new, but have fun with it. And like I said, if you're not comfortable with having a Scent event or a last chance first glance party event at your house, meet somebody one-on-one at like a restaurant or coffee, or if you're on a tighter budget, maybe meet like at a library, or if you have somewhere like at your like condo apartment that has like a little meeting room, maybe meet up there as well. There are places, even like the weather's been decent lately here in Texas, so you can meet at like a park. It doesn't necessarily have to be somewhere where you feel obligated to spend money. But you definitely want to have that meetup place, so that way it's still personal, but it's not as much stress on you, if that's the case, if that makes sense. But anyways, thank y'all so much. That's it for today. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. Be sure to reach out to me if you have any questions about anything that I discussed. And like I said, all of our business supplies will be available starting this week, February 1st. You have the entire month to be able to get it in your hands. But if you have any questions, reach out to me or reach out to your sponsor, and I know we'll be glad to help. But thank y'all so much for hanging out. I hope y'all have an incredible week, and let's get into February 1st. I am so excited about this new month. And if y'all didn't already see this, make sure and look at the post that I sent out today for the refresh, refocus, reimagine group. That is a mouthful. If you're not already in it, make sure and join it. There's some really good stuff happening in February. But I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. Y'all have a good night.